The James Show Podcast.
I'll let Harvey Levin from TMZ break down the new video that just popped and was made available since the James Show started. This 2 minutes here should get you caught up on the newest evidence here.
There is new video, we are told, is on the FBI's radar in the Nancy Guthrie case. And it could be important, but we know it is in play. This video was shot at 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. The backpack that he is holding has reflective stripes similar to the backpack that the kidnapper was wearing at Nancy's door. It's unclear from the video exactly where those reflective stripes are located, but they are reflective stripes. And we know and reported yesterday that this is a Walmart backpack, which is fairly common. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence, and he is unable to do it. So he leaves at 1:53. Now, timing here is critical. When you listen to the FBI last week, they said that Nancy's doorbell was disabled at 1:47. Our law enforcement sources directly connected to this case tell us that the video that they retrieved showing the kidnapper at Nancy Guthrie's door, that video was actually 2:12 a.m. Notice that when the FBI released it, they didn't give a timestamp. They didn't say when it was. But we are told by law enforcement sources it was 2:12 a.m. Where you see the kidnapper. That's the video that was retrieved. So now think about this. If the kidnapper is at Nancy's door at 2:12 a.m., and this person in this other video 5 miles away left that home at 1:53, there would be 19 minutes that person has, if that person is the kidnapper, and I stress if, 19 minutes to drive 5 miles, put on the disguise, and walk up to Nancy's door. Now, I want to really make this clear. We don't know this is the kidnapper. We do know this is something the FBI is actively looking at.
Boy, he's really hitting that hard. We just want to stress, we don't know if this guy's a kidnapper. I got it. You're worried about being sued. I got it. I can't blame you there. Maybe I should stress that too. We don't know that this guy's the kidnapper. But we do know that there's another video where there's a fellow that looks quite similar. And not only was he the last guy seen at the Guthrie house before the whole thing went awry, but he looked like he was ready to do some dirt. Now, this guy's not wearing a ski mask, and he doesn't have the gloves on. So we're not going to go as far as saying this guy looks like he's ready to do dirt. But it'd be a hell of a coincidence. He is dressed somewhat similar. We can tell that he's a bald fella. But maybe I should say it again. We don't know that this is the right guy. Ah, man, what a coincidence. It's either a guy who's directly involved or an accomplice. Does it look like the brother-in-law? Kinda. So, 800-288-9227, your thoughts. Let's go to John in Hico. Or is it Hico? Hico. Sorry about that. Isn't that where Billy the Kid supposedly buried?
Well,
Brushy Bill Roberts.
For debate.
Yeah.
That's up for debate.
I've only seen it in writing. I haven't. Anyway, Hico, go ahead, John.
It's either here or Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
Well, let's not get off on my Young Guns 2 tangent. What you call about?
Well, I don't understand. There's men, women, and children go missing every day in this great land of ours. And this is not a well-known lady. And, yeah, it's a bad deal. But why is the news media and everybody else so turned upside down about this?
Well, part of it is your fault. And I don't mean you, John. I mean, like, I don't want to talk about the same story for 3 hours, hardly ever. Like, if a 9/11 happens, sure. The day after the presidential election, sure. But I would be dumb to not talk about this because people are all over. We put something on Facebook that has something to do with this story. It gets better numbers than the other stuff we put up. When I put up podcast segments, I label them on what the topic is. This gets more clicks than everything else I'm putting up. So from my point of view, the listeners are driving how much I talk about this. And for the people that call in and say, we don't care. Well, yeah, you do. Maybe you personally don't care. But enough.
I didn't say I didn't care.
No, and I didn't mean to talk about you, John. No, you're absolutely right. No, I'm used to dealing with this. I kind of struggle with it too, John. But there's a couple of actual answers for that. Number one, we actually, if we had the bandwidth, we really would care about all the kidnappings that happen in the world. We just can't pay attention to like 5 to 10 stories at a time. And I don't mean we as a broadcast platform. I mean you as the listener, and I'm a listener of media as well. You just can't absorb all those. We don't have enough time to tell you all the stories, but we can hyper focus on one. Savannah Guthrie is sort of well known. She's on the Today Show. It doesn't get much more famous than that for being on TV every day on one of the big four networks, but also what she's really well known for outside of just Today Show circles is she's one of the few people who's actually sat down and interviewed Epstein clients. She's also her husband worked for the Clintons for like 20 years, and this is all coming out the week after the Epstein file dump. So that's really the first thing I'm interested in. If there's any Epstein connection, I'm totally all over this one. If not, once we know the details of the story, then it becomes a self-perpetuating machine. To where, like when you listen to music radio, I know how you people listen, not you, John, but everyone else. You flip through until you get to a song that you know that you like that you want to hear. So if it's a song that you don't know, like never heard of, doesn't sound like something you listen to, you just go to the next one, right? Or if it's an annoying commercial, you go to the next one. But you go, and if it's a song that you've heard before, you're like 10 times more likely to stop. And if it's a song that you like, you stay there. If it's a song that you want to hear, something you're already familiar with, you stay there. And so it's the same thing in these topics. Now, everyone already knows this story. Everyone already knows who Savannah Guthrie is and Nancy Guthrie, and most of us have a basic understanding of the details of the case. So if there's an update, we're more likely to click on that because we already know the nuts and bolts of this story. And so, I mean, some of it is our fault in the media for, pushing and hyper focusing on some stories more than others. But in stories like this, which isn't an inherently political story, this just shows we're human beings with, empathy for our neighbors. And we do get a little rolled up in some of these emotional tales.
Everyone already knows who Savannah Guthrie is and Nancy Guthrie.
That's weird, Echo. Right. Does that help, John?
Well, I guess so. I don't think it would have got this much attention if her daughter wasn't who her daughter is.
Oh, definitely not. You're absolutely correct to suspect that. None of us would care. And, we should care as much about...
care, but, I mean, what about the thousands that don't have the political or freaking means?
Yeah, well, life's not fair. Life's not fair. Look, hey, here's something I deal with every day. John, if one of my sons goes missing, no one will care. If one of my daughters goes missing, it will make the news. So even within like an intra-family situation, there's disparate attention that's paid to these stories. Isn't that weird?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's the world we live in. So if you're going to get kidnapped, be a beautiful woman so everyone will care. Have you seen one kidnapping story in the news that got any kind of national attention where it's a guy that's like my age and kind of balding, a little overweight, but he's not famous or known out for anything? Have you one? Never happened? That's why. So one thing I've learned is the video that TMZ shared, they are the ones who blurred out the dude's head. Someone else had a video version that didn't have it blurred out, and they put it together with the TMZ report that I just played in the last segment. So I can confirm at least that our fella's bald. In this new video that came out, there was the Ring doorbell camera yesterday. There's another video of someone, looks like a carport, not a like an open garage, just a car covering. And your boy has 2 backpacks. And it looks like he puts one over the fence. And then there's an edit. And it looks like he comes back and he takes the bag back. Brings it back over the fence. And he's wearing a backpack. Kind of lines up to where this is a video from 5 miles away. That gives him a little time to scoot on over there and put on his gloves and his ski mask. Maybe pull up some random plants in the front flower bed to block the... What was that? What was the plant thing? So I think we're about to get to the bottom of this mystery. I mean, I think the FBI is already there. But why release this video now? What's going on? What's with the drip going on? How are we just getting new evidence? And what are we, 13 days into this? So a lot of questions are still popping up. I don't have a whole lot of answers on it, but it might help if you go see the video. Go check that out yourself. Go to WBAP.com, click through. There's a little bit of a link. There's a link there to the YouTube video. And if you have any insights, what am I missing? I'm not really good at this game. And I'm not really good at solving mysteries. But it looks like it could be the same guy. I mean, I don't want to, look, the reason why they blurred out his face is because they are trying to defensively shield themselves from a lawsuit. Because if that's not the guy and he experiences any negative consequences, he gets any phone calls or death threats or people show up at his house, TMZ is going to get sued. TMZ is going to get sued because they're going to say you abused your platform to harass an innocent guy because you didn't do your due diligence, because you were sloppy about putting his identity out. And so they're just blurring his face, not because it helps us get to the bottom of this mystery, but it's a defensive move. Dang it. So the latest in the Guthrie case is, for the part that we're allowed to know about, is new video. Check that out. That is so bizarre. So once you go check that out, the connection that most people are trying to make is that the same mystery man? Is that the same guy in the new video that is in the video that came out yesterday? No, I don't think this is a distraction from all the other important things that are going on. And if you're worried about the ICE protests or the SAVE Act, this lady's going to be found, and we're not going to really revisit this a whole lot, and we'll have plenty of time to go over that. Don't worry about the government shutdown. This will be the third one of the second term of President Trump. It's crazy how the one that happened a few months ago, they're acting like it's the end of the world. We're literally in one right now, and there's almost no reporting on it. And if we don't get this DHS funding, it will continue through next week. No big reporting about it. That doesn't mean it should be a big story now. Make no mistake about that. That means all the hyperventilating they were doing back in October was a lie. That's what that means. So we have some other ancillary stories that are sort of attached to this that aren't really of interest to the final product itself, but worth mentioning. There's a California man that was accused of sending a fake ransom demand to Nancy Guthrie's daughter and son-in-law. So he's not in custody, but he did have to appear in a federal court in Tucson today. And it looks like he doesn't even have a lawyer with him. There's just some random dude with a cell phone video that catches him walking out the courthouse. And he's by himself. There's not any reporters there. There's not even any other pedestrians there. How would you like to be a guy who's accused of sending a fake ransom demand if you're innocent? Now, if he's guilty, I don't feel sorry for him at all. But this is why we do so much to protect, the names of the innocent. And we say allegedly and reportedly. And this is exactly why TMZ blurred out that dude's face. Oh, I get it. It doesn't help. It's not the most accurate of reporting, but it's better than a lawsuit. So now I think we're going to be getting answers pretty soon. I did say that yesterday, but I would say that we are a lot closer now than we are yesterday. But this isn't quieting a lot of the conspiracy theorists. The first conspiracy theorist, or the first sort of speculative cycle that we have to go through, is this woman still alive? And I don't even see a consensus on that. I see more of a consensus with a lot of people thinking this is the brother-in-law He has the motive. He has the proximity. He has the inside knowledge. He would know about the cameras. He didn't take any medicine, but if he knows what it takes to keep her alive, he can go get that medicine elsewhere. Is she still alive? I don't know. I don't know what to believe on that part, and that's kind of sad because we're almost 2 weeks into this. And I used to think the longer that this goes on, the less likely she is to be alive. But if she's dead, she was probably dead that night. You know, it's one thing to be a sociopath and be indifferent to the sufferings of your fellow human beings. But, you know, that is a spectrum. And you would have to be all the way 100% sociopath, almost psychopath, to let your mother-in-law, someone that you actually had, you know, a somewhat human relationship with for years and years and years, to watch that lady slowly die of attrition over the course of days because she doesn't have adequate medicine. So I think there's no middle ground on that one. Either she's still alive now or she's been dead. So if she's still alive now, there's a hope for a best case scenario. Best case scenario would be the woman comes back alive. We catch the guy. No one loses any money. And that's about as best as we can make out of a bad situation. Worst case scenario is she's been dead this whole time. All the ransom notes are fake. Either someone trying to get some money or someone trying to throw off the cops on the trail. And worse, then from that little algorithm, you have two terrible options there. One option is we eventually find the body, then that guy gets charged with a crime, held accountable, or maybe we never find the body and this guy just gets away with it. James in Grand Prairie, you're on WBAP.
Hey, man. I think that after the first few days this thing went by and that first ransom note was sent and nothing happened, I had the feeling then that the lady has died. And the reason I think so, I think that now they're kind of stuck with a body they don't know what to do with. And they can't really deliver her and get the money because they don't, you know, she's not alive. And I think this was probably done by a person, at least going by that video, something maybe mentally ill with this guy because of the way he acted in front of the camera.
Yes.
So he, you know, maybe thought, well, I can make me some easy money, you know, and figured this little plan out, but he wasn't counting on her, you know, possibly dying on him. And I think that's probably what happened. But
well, we have no proof of life, and that's the weird part.
Exactly.
Because I've dealt with zero ransoms in my entire life, but I've reported on them, and usually there's some sort of proof of life, or at least asking for a proof of life. And they weren't even asking for that in the Instagram videos, which a lot of people have said was kind of weird.
Right, and you know, all this time's gone by, and why would they go out looking again? You know, this guy on this other video might be him, but I just don't. I really think that that's what happened. That she, because of not having a medicine, or maybe she died shortly after. I mean, you know, an 84-year-old woman, just to get her to get in the car to go to Walmart is a chore, you know, and let alone get her, you know, somebody who's ill and having problems, and then she probably, you know, either had a heart attack or maybe she died on the way out because they said they saw blood there, you know. And then if you look at this guy's body language, he's kind of like, it's very amateurish. He pulls the weeds up to the camera. I mean, what kind of a...
Yeah, what is that?
That's just, to me, that's what makes me think the guy's probably got some kind of mental issues. And maybe he was an acquaintance or had met the lady maybe somewhere at church or, you know, somewhere and knew of them.
Do you not think it's the son-in-law?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I thought about that, and I thought, you know, what's the real motive for him? I mean, yeah, there's money, but he's already in the family. The money's already in the family. He's already there. You know, what would be the... I just don't see that.
Well, my explanation for that is if he was trying to do a ransom, then he could get money and not have to kill his mother-in-law, and everyone's happy. If this isn't,
you think about that, but okay, let's say it was him, and he grabbed her, and he gave her back. Obviously, she's going to know it was him. He ain't going to wear the disguise. She's going to give him up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
How
so
would he get the money?
legit question. The answer to that is It was his idea, but he got someone else to do it for him. And so Mystery Man isn't son-in-law. Mystery Man is whoever son-in-law put up to this.
Could be, because she promised him a cut in it, and then it went bad, and she died.
Right, and the thing that I find appealing about that theory is it's a guy who has inside knowledge to know that there is the mother of a very rich person, a multimillionaire person. She's going to be alone. This is when she's going to be alone. This is where you go. This is how you do it. And I forgot to tell him about that doorbell camera. Shoot, right? That's yeah. All right,
that's the way this guy seemed so amateurish to me. The way he just kind of walked up and kind of nonchalantly does this, odd stuff. You're like, that's not a pro.
Agreed. Agreed. And
also too, one more thing.
Okay.
A pro would not have thrown the glove out onto the road somewhere. That would have never been found.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that glove's associated with the kidnapping, but if it is, you're right. What a stupid move that is.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, James in Grand Prairie. Good stuff. This is Steve in Carrollton. Now, again, is this the Steve in Carrollton?
No, this is Steve in Fate.
All right, fine. Hey, Steve in Fate, go ahead.
Listen, I think that's a woman. I think she's a nurse. I think she's got a lot of clothes on. I think she knows how to cut wires off on a pacemaker because it's just right under the skin. I think that she put that gun in the middle of herself and around her belt in the middle. I think it's to throw everybody off. And I think that when she looked at the wires on her doorbell, that's another indication to throw people off that they don't know what she's doing. But she's a nurse. I really believe that. That's all I got to say, buddy.
Well, are you talking about Annie, the sister of Savannah Guthrie?
No, I'm talking about the one that's on the camera, the doorbell camera.
I don't know. Where does nurse come from? For the pacemaker to be untethered from the Bluetooth on the phone, there's no wire that has to be cut. You just have to leave the phone in one room, and she has to walk far enough.
You misunderstand.
I did. Then
you make a little this incision on the chest. These wires that goes to the heart. You disconnect. You cut the wires on the pacemaker, which shuts everything down.
But that's not what happened. What happened was she got far enough away that it became untethered.
Okay. We'll find out, I guess. But listen, that's just what I think. I think it's a woman.
No, I welcome your theory. I find that interesting because no one else is saying that. So you think it's a woman. Did we not see a mustache on the dude that was wearing the ski mask?
I think that's all I do. I think it's a woman, and I think she's a nurse, and I think she knows what she's doing. And those gloves, you're going to find out it's not going to make any difference because whoever did this is pretty smart, and it's just all misleading.
Okay, so Stephen Fate, do you think the mom is still alive?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I appreciate you sharing, Steve.
Because the nurse knows what to do.
Right, and she'll make sure the medicine and all that happens.
That's exactly right.
Interesting. All right. Well, I can't tell you you're wrong, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Stephen Fate. That's a new one. I'll digest that. Keep it in mind, because if he's proven right, he's going to look like a genius. This is Bob in Waco. You're on WBAP. Hey, Bob.
Good afternoon, James. I was listening to the show all day, AM and PM, and I really think that the law enforcement went back out to the residents. Now that they've retrieved the video from Google, there could have been other smart speakers or devices in the home that may have needed to retrieve to get additional information off of them. I've heard it said for years that our smart speakers are listening to us at all times.
Oh, yeah.
I firmly believe that they know a lot more than we do or what's been released to the public. And just to throw my 2 cents out there, I don't think that she has survived the initial incident on Saturday night, Sunday night, whichever it was.
No proof of life? Is that why?
Yeah, there's no proof of life, and I pray that I'm wrong, but I don't feel like she survived the initial event. And we'll find that out later. And again, I hope like hell I'm wrong, but that's just my gut instinct.
Yeah, and the smart speakers that are in our houses now, they're definitely listening at all times. How would they know to activate when you say their name if they're not listening at all time? So then the question becomes, are they recording everything that they're listening? Are they passing that along to the servers? Look, if you're Jeff Bezos, or because he owns Ring Doorbell, or if you're Google, who owns the Nest Doorbell, the question becomes, why not? You have all this info that's flowing through your servers anyway. Data storage is almost free these days, and I realize when we build these big data centers that cost like $1 billion. But you can go out to Walmart and you can buy a 12 terabyte hard drive for like $150 now. And so when you do it at that massive scale, what's the incentive to not keep all that info? So I just assume they're listening to everything they say in the house. And like if you ever break into the me and Miss Parker's smart speakers, I mean, there's not going to be a murder mystery there. It's going to be pretty embarrassing. It's going to.
Going back to your Nancy Grace clips earlier today, they have capabilities that we don't even know about at the national level, the FBI and other intelligence agencies.
Sure, they're hitting Cuban guards in Venezuela with some sort of sonic beam. They're shooting down Mexican cartel balloons with lasers in El Paso, and now they're back tracing all this video. You're right. But on the flip side, we've given up our privacy, but it'll be really hard to commit crimes in the future.
Well, let's hope so anyway.
Yeah, let's hope so. How about this? It'll be really hard to get away with crimes after they've been committed in the future. Might be a little more accurate. Bob and Waco, another great call. Thank you very much. And I really thank him because I played that Nancy Grace clip like 2 hours ago. So Bob's awesome. He listened to the whole damn show. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out today. Hopefully when I sit down with you tomorrow at some point, you and I will be able to talk about how, I knew it was this guy. We finally got him. But a couple things before I get out of here. We have a giveaway here for movie passes. If you want to experience the season's biggest blockbusters the way they were meant to be seen, you still got to go to the theater. Look Dine-In Cinemas now has locations open in Bedford and Arlington. Text the word movie for your chance to win 2 passes. Text the word movie, MOVIE, to our phone number, 800-288-9227. It'll just take you about 30 seconds to pull it off. Not a whole lot of people enter these contests. You might get some passes off of us. And if someone's got to win, I would rather it be a James Show listener than someone from one of these other silly shows. And then also, a week from today is the next edition of Parker's Pours. So next Thursday, I'm going to be doing the show live from the Whiskey and Rye at the Omni Fort Worth Hotel. And then we're going to hang out afterwards from 5 to 7 and do a little happy hour. Now, last time the cheerleader championships were there, and so it was absolutely packed with cheer moms and dads, which was kind of cool in its own right. But I don't think we're going to have a giant crowd kind of crowding us out this time. So come on out, say hi. I'll hang out with everyone that bothers to show up. I'm not going to get a drink with everyone that bothers to show up because I don't want to throw up. But we'll have a good time. And we're going to be doing this the third Thursday of every month. The Parker's Pour, Whiskey and Rye, Omni Fort Worth Hotel, a week from today. Live show, happy hour till 7. Come on out, say hi. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
The James Show Podcast.